Thank you for purchasing your EDM 700 series engine data management system. You will discover that this is the finest engine monitoring instrument available for piston engines. This video will walk you through the operation of the EDM 700 and answer the most common questions about the instrument. Think of your EDM 700 as your personal flight engineer, always there, working in the background, constantly watching over your engine while you concentrate on flying the aircraft. You can make an entire flight without ever pushing a button, if you so choose. Yet your EDM 700 will be monitoring your engine parameters 3 times a second and will warn you instantly if any parameter exceeds the program limit. Let's jump in and see how it works. The EDM 700 collects data and displays it for you in a useful way. You use the EDM 700 to monitor engine temperatures and voltages, adjust the fuel-air mixture, and diagnose engine malfunctions. Let's examine the analog display. Central to the display is the exhaust gas temperature, or EGT, bar graph presentation. The height of each column represents the EGT. The last column represents oil temperature or turbine inlet temperature, depending on the options installed in your aircraft. The range of the EGT columns is red line at the top down to 1/2 of red line at the bottom. This is called the percentage view because you are looking at a percentage of red line. The normalized view allows you to see small, subtle changes in temperature. When you change to the normalized view, hold the right button for 3 seconds. All column heights are set to the identical half height. Any changes are shown as an increase or decrease in column height. A 1 bar change in column height represents a 10 degrees change. The normalized view permits rapid visualization of EGT trends rather than a percentage of red line. The missing segment in the column represents the cylinder head temperature trend. Above each column is a number corresponding to the engine cylinder number. The rightmost column, if present, displays oil temperature. If turbine inlet temperature is installed, then the rightmost column will indicate this with a T above that column. Beneath the bar graph is the alphanumeric display. A single index dot above one column indicates which cylinder is being displayed on this numerical display. When the index dot is beneath a cylinder number 1 through 6, the digital display shows the EGT on the left 4 digits and the CHT on the right 3 digits. Other engine parameters shown in this display are the rate of shock cooling of the most rapidly cooling cylinder in degrees per minute. Lycoming recommends that you keep this value below 50 degrees per minute. The bus voltage. The difference between the hottest and coolest exhaust gas temperatures. The outside air temperature, if you have this option installed. Oil temperature, if you have this option installed. If you have the fuel flow option installed, there are other displays which will be described later in this video. There are buttons on the front panel. These 2 buttons control all functions of the EDM 700. On the left side is the step button, and on the right side is the LeanFind button. 10 minutes after the EDM 700 is turned on, it will automatically index through all parameters. Tapping this step button will always take you into the manual indexing mode. Here you can observe each parameter value for as long as you want. To resume the automatic indexing, tap LeanFind and then tap Step. To switch between the percentage view and the normalized view, hold the LeanFind button down for 5 seconds. We'll explain more on the use of these 2 buttons as we proceed through the video. Upon reaching cruise configuration, use the LeanFind mode to identify the first cylinder to reach peak EGT. Note that this is the leanest cylinder, not necessarily the hottest cylinder. There are 2 methods of leaning. The standard method is the default, leaning rich of peak. If you have gammy fuel injectors, you can use the lean of peak method. This video describes both methods. First, we will show the standard rich of peak method. Begin the leaning process by pre-leaning the mixture to about 50 degrees below the estimated peak on any one of the cylinders. For example, let's say that you have determined that 1350 is the pre-lean value for your aircraft. Now wait about 30 seconds for temperatures to stabilize. To enter the LeanFind mode, tap the LeanFind button. You will see the exhaust gas temperature of the hottest cylinder on the left display. Lean the mixture at a rate of about 5 degrees per second without pausing. When there is a 15 degrees rise in the EGT, the LeanFind will become active, indicated by the flashing dot under the number of the hottest cylinder. If you have the fuel flow option, the fuel flow rate will be shown on the right display. Stop leaning when you momentarily see leanest on the display and a column begins flashing. On the left is displayed the temperature of the first EGT to peak. If you tap LeanFind, the left display will toggle to display the number of degrees below peak of the first EGT to peak, displayed as a negative number. Tap LeanFind again to toggle to the actual EGT value. To see the captured peak EGT value, hold the LeanFind button. In most cases, you will now be on the lean side of peak by about 10 degrees. While the column is flashing, slowly enrich the mixture. The temperature will increase, returning to peak. Stop enriching at the desired exhaust gas temperature. To use the lean of peak method, tap LF, and then immediately hold the step and the LF buttons until you see lean L. For the duration of the flight, your EDM will remember to use the lean of peak method anytime you use the LeanFind mode. Lean the mixture at a rate of about 5 degrees per second without pausing. When there is a 15 degrees rise in EGT, the LeanFind will become active, indicated by the flashing dot under the number of the hottest cylinder. If you have the fuel flow option, the fuel flow rate will be shown on the right display. When the first EGT peaks, you will see the word leanest, and the graph display will invert to what we call the icicle graph. Continue leaning until the last EGT peaks, as indicated by the word richest and the flashing EGT number and column. The flashing will stop, and two cylinders will be flagged by dots, the leanest and the richest. The number of degrees below peak for the last EGT to peak is shown in the display. If you hold the LeanFind button, you will see the captured peak of the richest cylinder on the left and the Gamma spread on the right. The Gamma spread is the change in fuel flow from the first to the last EGT to peak.